Yeah.
Hello everyone, it's Attacker72 here, and for today. So, I want to say this to all my fans out there. When I first started this channel a few years ago, at first it wasn't really that much of a gaming channel, nor was a news channel. It was kind of just mediocre stuff and very low quality. I mean, yeah, I still have low quality videos today, but even if so, I still enjoy making videos and all my fans enjoying it. And I asked about a few days ago, what would you think if I make another Smash series of talking about upcoming potential fighters? Because this channel technically started off as a Smash Brothers one, where I talked about the game for a few years until the end of the era, with Sora joining in as our final DLC character. And there's so much potential for another Smash Brothers game in the future, but it'll really take a lot of years for it to come by. So in this series, I want to introduce you all to a series that I've asked, and it seems that you agree. Welcome to If This Was a Fighter. Now, this isn't really an original series. This has been gone for a really long time, but I just kind of want to talk about what would happen if there's ever going to be another Smash game, and they're going to be adding new fighters that many have either requested or potentially coming out. So, for this one, I want to be talking about the very first fighter in this video, being a character that many have been asking for many years at this point. You know when you saw the title in the thumbnail, I'm talking about the purple bomber himself, Waluigi. Now, to put it simple, Waluigi has been a character that I've seen many requests of to this day, and I can see why. He's a fun character, and he's a fun character even whenever he's in other spin-offs like Mario Strikers, Mario Tennis, or Mario Party. He's always been like the mischievous brother of Wario for the longest time, since his appearance in Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64. However, even if Waluigi is such a requested fighter, the thing about Waluigi is that he's always been regulated as an assist trophy since Brawl. Since the assist trophies were announced that day, Waluigi has been, and even to this day, have been getting the assist trophy treatment for so long. Even Sakurai coming out and stating this in the Wii U and 3DS eras for Waluigi's inclusion as an assist trophy, stating this: just because you try hard doesn't mean you'll make it into battle. And I honestly don't understand why it's really hard for, Waluigi getting to Smash Bros. At all. Just like with Sora and Banjo-Kazooie and a few other characters in Ultimate, Waluigi is a very highly requested character, but I can see why to me, I feel like there is some problems within the character itself. One is the fact that some of the movesets is kind of hard to kind of put in and implement into making an actual character. And yes, I am aware that Wii Fit, Duck Hunt, and Rob exist, including Mr. Game & Watch. They don't fight in their games, yet they have their own movesets, so it's not really impossible for Waluigi to have one. Another reason I've seen many fans is that Sakurai hates Waluigi, which is absolutely false. But overall, in this video, in the first episode of this If This Was a Fighter, I want to be talking about and predicting the moveset for Waluigi himself. Now, I want to let you all know that just because, I will be mentioning some moveset parts that are very similar or identical to another character's playstyle. I want to let you know that not every character has to be original or in terms of movesets. This has been proven a lot of times with the clone characters and the semi-clones and all, so not every character has to have an original moveset, just as long as they're fun to play, and that's really all that matters. So let's talk about the moveset and what Waluigi could really have in this episode of If This Was a Fighter. Let's first talk about what Waluigi is about, what its attributes are. In some fighters, some are heavyweight, some are lightweight, maybe some that are pretty average in terms of the weight, and also with their speed as well. I like to imagine Waluigi as sort of a pretty average speed and sort of light fighter, but pretty powerful in terms of attacks. Not really, well, in some of his specials at least. That's how I like to describe Waluigi as a whole. For his taunts, however, because the taunts usually likes to give out what their character is really about, I assume that his up special would be Waluigi kind of just laughing, you know, his iconic laugh. His side taunts would basically have him say his iconic "wah" catchphrase, and then his down taunt would obviously, if not one of his most iconic poses in recent Mario spin-off media, is him pulling out a red rose. I have no idea how Waluigi always does this or where he keeps getting the red rose from, but all I can say is that him just doing that flamboyant and exquisite energy coming from Waluigi, that's what makes him a character in the Mario spin-off series. It can't be Waluigi without his simple rose technique and all, which really fits his character in a way. But those are the taunts I want to talk about. But now let's talk about the actual moveset. Now look, in some of my past predictions, wherever I talk about a fighter, I usually like to sketch them out before showing them off in the video. First of all, the character, we got Waluigi, and then the bottom there are his different alternate costumes. The first one is obviously his default outfit, and it can't be Waluigi without having the Luigi variant, since Luigi in Smash Bros. Always has the purple variant to represent Waluigi, for those that can't play him at all because of his sister status. And you may be wondering, what is the dark blue one supposed to be referencing about? To me, this is supposed to be referencing one of his earlier color schemes back in the N64 era, where he was just being a new character. He kind of had a more darker blue color scheme, more like than a purple one, so that's why I wanted to include that in case for those who are asking. And it can't be Waluigi without having the Wario design. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what the black color variant is supposed to be about. I assume it has to be inverted colors, or it's probably just giving Waluigi the sort of black and white variant, having the black overalls and hat, and then the white colors as well. And speaking of the white color variants, I wanted to give Waluigi a Fire Waluigi variant, because I know that, because there are some costumes in Smash Bros. That does not have any originality in terms of just its color schemes. Lucario is a big example, because even though his colors are based off from his appearances, the other ones, it really doesn't have one at all. And the 7th one would base off from his appearance as Mario, obviously, since Mario Odyssey didn't include Waluigi's, the Waluigi outfit in there, so I feel like we could do the same thing as well. And last but not least, the 8th color scheme, or should I say alternate costume, is based off one of his iconic appearances in Mario Tennis Aces, where he wore that tennis outfit. That is truly something that I feel like I can't leave out, so that's why I want to leave that there. Those are all Waluigi's taunts, costumes, and his color variants and all, but what about the moveset overall? Well, as you can see here, for his neutral special, Waluigi in this essential, he always carries his iconic racket, so why not have, put the tennis racket into good use? But instead of, using it to hit people, instead he could probably just jump for a moment and then hit a bomb to an opponent. This is kind of similar to Wii Fit Trainer's own up special, or, well, I wouldn't say up special, her neutral special or something like that. I don't know what move she uses in terms of, but she usually gets on a ball and hits it to the opponent. It is really similar to Waluigi's own tennis racket as well, except without the ball, it's now a bomb. For his up special, now this is a very, very bizarre one to talk about, and that's from the fact that he usually floats in the air and kind of swims in some ways. The biggest reference I saw was in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Usually whenever he runs, whenever you activate his specials, Waluigi always floats for whatever reason. And that's kind of, to me, shows how much of a, I guess, because it kind of describes his mischievous and cheating sort of personality in a way. So him just straight up floating out of nowhere would be hilarious and matches his character very well. For his side special, it would basically be identical to Wario's own bike. Instead, Waluigi can have his bike that he takes from Mario Kart. I assume it's Mario Kart Wii, right? If that's the case, then yeah, that would be identical to Wario, but instead of jumping off, he only gets at around 3 to 5 seconds of being in the bike before getting off from it, instead of just pressing a certain button in order to get off from the bike itself. And that for his down special, with his assist showing mostly him just jumping and then using his stomps and not really that much of his tennis racket, I feel like it would be right to just give him the stomping move he has in the assist trophy. Basically burying a few opponents for a few seconds, and then after that, basically, you know, hitting him with any attacks at all. So those are all of the basic moveset. I know it is pretty simple, and I originally was gonna give him a moveset that came from Super Smash Flash 2, but I feel like I wanted to give him some other attributes as well. And then finally, for his final smash, is gonna be basically coming from Smash Flash 2, being the Vine Mega Strike. In Mario Striker's Charge, Waluigi usually has a Vine technique whenever he activates his Mega Strike move, and mostly has a Vine with him as well. And he does the same thing as well in Mario Striker's Battle League, so why not give him that sort of color scheme, and especially Waluigi hitting most of the opponents with his Vine, very similar, very identical to his appearance in Smash Flash 2. Now, there's no necessary music I want to add in this one, but if I wanted to give him at least a stage, Waluigi's Pinball is straight up in the game as part of the music selection, but why not give Waluigi his own stage, being Waluigi Pinball itself? After all, who doesn't love that iconic stage? It's so iconic that he even came back as part of the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass and all. You cannot deny that the song itself is iconic, so if Waluigi is ever gonna get added, why not just add the stage and, you know, course that he's known and iconic for? And that pretty much wraps up the whole moveset predictions for the first episode of If This Was a Fighter of the Smash series and whatnot. Now, before I end this off, I want to let all my fans know when it comes to having Waluigi added into Smash Brothers. I get it. I truly wanted Waluigi to get into Smash Brothers, and him being in the assist trophy definitely was painful to watch back then. I feel like even watching it now was pretty painful to this day. But I want to let you all know is that if Waluigi was ever going to get, if there's going to be another Smash game in the future, if he's going to be an assist trophy once again, then I don't want to hear any of this. I don't want anyone to just say that, I want Waluigi still, even after he was clearly announced as an assist trophy. We tried to see Waluigi as a playable fighter and as a way to remove the assist trophy feature that featured the character, but it still didn't, but it never happened. And another thing is that I really want you to all actually want Waluigi for real, because from what I've saw, the Smash community, I've seen some that stated that they wanted Waluigi for the sake of the memes. And I get it, we wanted to see it for the memes at all, but there are genuine actual fans of Waluigi that truly wanted him as a playable fighter. Like, I've seen Sans meme to hell at that point from, because, you know, he's an iconic meme character that many have been stated, and wanted him to be in Smash Brothers because of the meme, but at the same time, I've seen Sans actually being wanted as a playable fighter because they truly wanted him to see what he would play like. Same goes for Steve from Minecraft and Ridley from Metroid. You kind of shows that if you truly want a character in Smash Brothers, at least actually mean it that way. That's all I want to say about it, and if there's ever going to be another chance for another Smash game in the future made by Masahiro Sakurai, if he ever has a chance, then at least give Waluigi a chance. If he's not going to be a playable fighter and is instead an assist trophy, we just have to move on from it. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed this series so far. This is only the first episode, but I want to know what you all want me to cover next. Which characters do you want me to, talk about for a moveset in the future? And with that, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos, follow my Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember this, once a legend, always a legend. Like a Hellcat.